Are you unemployed? Would you like to be qualified in the field of your choice? What if I told you it was absolutely free? Is transportation a problem? What if I told you that was free? So you're stuck behind bars or you have a criminal record. So what? You still need to be trained. What if I told you they don't only train you, they provide job placement? What if I told you you would be certified to work anywhere within CARICOM? In tonight's program, we take you from unemployment to orientation, training, internship, and from job placement to entrepreneurship. Untold Stories presents The Overall.
Idle hands is the devil's workshop. And when you're idle, anything could happen. It doesn't pinpoint on you alone, it affects the whole country.
In 1994, Helen had 141,700 children. Of these, 93,100 were over the age of 15. 62,780 were eligible to work. However, 16.5% were not gainfully employed. By the turn of the century, Victoria was the midwife in Helen's delivery of 155,460 offsprings, and, unfortunately, the unemployment rate still hovered around 16%. Fast forward from contractions to preschool, from graduation to job hunting, and a disturbing pattern appears. By 2014, Helen now had 172,570 mouths to feed. But, appallingly, 24.4% of these mouths were on the breadline. More astoundingly, 41.8% of the youth unemployment rate in 2014 indicated more young females were jobless compared to their male counterparts. A microscopic examination of the unemployed indicates that many have poor or incomplete levels of education and little marketable skills. In 2011, 26% of the unemployed had no educational qualifications, while 44.4% had completed secondary school, thanks to the advent of universal secondary education. There are several explanations for high unemployment in St. Lucia. A mismatch between the level and type of education and training received by prospective labor force in relation to the needs of the employers. The limited availability of job opportunities, especially with the decline of the banana industry. Slow rates of economic growth to absorb the supply of labor. The unwillingness to accept jobs which are not well remunerated or have little desirable characteristics by persons seeking employment, known as voluntary unemployment. Those few who survive off remittances from relatives who live abroad, which constitutes to non-labor income. Such reduces the desire to actively engage in job search. Over the past 15 years, the pendulum of employment has swung more consistently to the F's than the M's, based primarily on the female's eagerness to gain tertiary level education, accessing and embracing skills training, and generally being more proficient than the alpha males in the same field. There are 4 types of unemployment. Frictional unemployment. This occurs when an individual is out of his current job and looking for another. Developed countries offer employment insurance to tide over this frictional idleness. Structural joblessness is a mismatch of skilled workers in the labor market. Causes include geographical immobility, occupational immobility characterized by the difficulty to learn new skills, and technological changes where workers are not equipped to embrace technological advancements. Classical unemployment happens when trade unions bargain for higher wages that lead to a fall in the demand for labor. Cyclical idleness occurs when there is a recession. At the time of the downturn, unskilled and surplus labor are the first to become jobless. The World Development Report maintains that there is a relationship between jobs, standard of living, aggregate productivity, and the enhancing of social cohesion. Job creation builds social interactions and lead to higher levels of productivity. This increases labor income, improves standards of living, and reduces socially deviant behavior.
Over the past 12 months, several St. Lucians have lost their jobs.
Unemployment remains one of the major consequences of the financial meltdown.
Youth unemployment is one of the most serious issues facing St. Lucia.
Especially in this area, this difficult area of employment or negatively unemployment.
Young people complain that they are caught in a vicious cycle whereby they cannot find work without experience, but they are not able to gain the required experience without a job.
Jobs and opportunities for young people, for grown-up people, for men and women.
Jobs, jobs, and jobs was the mantra of the SLP administration upon entering office. It was announced as the highlight of the government's 2011 budget, dubbed the government's first, second, and third priority.
If the government has created 2,000 plus jobs on the NICE, it is true that people are getting jobs. It is artificial in the sense that it is employment that is not generated by productive activity at this stage.
Unemployment is a major factor in nearly every country. It is the political football in the wilderness of elective politics. But every once in a while, a political party gets it right. A round of applause, therefore, to the St. Lucia Labour Party for conceptualizing, initiating, and seeing to fruition the National Skills Development Center. This episode of Untold Stories, the overall, examines the provision of sustainable employment, skills training for Helen's children, re-equipping society's offenders to be productive members of the workforce. We also home in on job placements, careers which have been fertilized thanks to political will, international assistance, self-sustainability, stakeholder support, and progressive administration.
It was around the time where there was the downturn in the industry as it related to our banana industry, and people were displaced. The banana farmers were displaced. They needed new skills, and we had a lot of youth on the block as well. So it was about the unemployed, the underemployed, those who needed extra skills, new skills, and those who also wanted to change careers.
The NSDC was officially launched on February 15, 2001 as a quasi-non-profit statutory body.
The mandate of the NSDC is to assist in alleviating crime, 1. 2, also to give St. Lucians skills, to empower them, to bring them up to a new level, to stop literacy problems that we have.
The NSDC operates out of the Bize Industrial Zone, but to ensure its services are decentralized, it operates 4 satellite centers island-wide. The NSDC has implemented over 200 different technical vocational areas under 8 training programs.
The government of St. Lucia does assist us as it relates to a subvention and a few small projects, SMILE, Single Mothers in Life Enhancement Skills, and the Youth Empowerment Project. But also, we write our own proposals as well. And we have donor funders when we write, like the European Union, the World Bank, USAID. We had the America Trust of the Americas, and UNESCO, and some others.
There is a common hue and cry many times about hopelessness, lack of opportunity, dearth of government interest or support, and no avenues for young people. When, in reality, it's a lack of knowledge on the part of the complainant to grasp the openings available to him.
When people look at NSDC, they really look at it as with some stigma as to NSDC looking at the poor and people who are not learned and people who cannot do well in school. It's not correct. We deal with people from all walks of life. From university, they come looking for a skill. They come looking for placement in a job. They come looking to see how they could change careers. They come looking to see, how they could develop other skills, new skills. They come looking to see how they could start a small business and be innovative and change their mindset as it relates to soft skills and life skills.
When we return, a door is open, fish get fried, and some nuts are cracked. The National Skills Development Center is located in Pastias Miku, in Viewfort, and is headquartered here at BZ. Every Thursday, new applicants file in for the much anticipated orientation, which could dramatically change their life.
I had a child and my purpose was to stay at home with him, go back to school and stuff like that. But it's so hard to get a job nowadays, like so hard. So I see like NSDC in the community and that's where I'm from, so like I have nothing doing this, so I should just go do something with myself basically.
Electrician and mechanic. I want to further my education and to get a good job and then own my own business. So for me, it will be a fun time being here, coming here, working and it's free.
You should not be out there looking for a job, okay? You should be out there looking to start a career. Our job here is to develop your competence, okay? And ensure that when you are now trained, it puts you in a better position for two things. One, you're now eligible to get a job and you are eligible to keep a job. There are a lot of times, especially in hotel sectors, you hear people talk about, I got laid off. Things slow, boy, I got laid off. But in reality, why were you? And that's some questions people need to ask themselves. Why was I chosen to be the one who was laid off? NSDC is project-centric for now, which means NSDC wants everyone who wants it, but we cannot afford to take in everyone at the same time because of financial constraints.
At these orientation exercises, you are exposed to career guidance because we have a career counseling department, so you get career guidance. You would complete our form, and we also give you a numeric and a reading exam.
Once you have scaled this small hurdle, it's on to filling out forms and selecting a path for training.
From there, we would narrow down our list of those who are interested in the area and our availability.
Which of these basic computer skills do you have? Using your mouse, Microsoft Word, Internet, email, keyboarding, Microsoft Excel, or none? And again, if you have none, please hit none. Don't let me
The
ask
life
you whether
skills training is 2 to 3 weeks long. We call it productivity enhancement training. During these weeks, we get a true feeling of these trainees, their interests, we understand, we guide them, job readiness. They learn about resume writing. So they almost become ready for the world of work. After completion of the 3 to 4 months in technical vocational training, we have what we call on-the-job training apprenticeship period. You are placed in the area of interest. So you are going to get to be on the job for 1 month. The NSDC, we have a team of training agents who find placements in collaboration with the training providers. We find placements for these trainees.
I was all home doing nothing, and right now I am on job training. I think that it will help me to better off myself. Right now it has built my self-confidence in finding a job. I am looking forward in graduating to get my CVQ. This is the Caribbean Vocational Certificate, which I can use to become employed in any country in the Caribbean.
Upon completion of their 1 month apprenticeship, you would be assessed. Your performance would be assessed by the manager or your immediate supervisor on the job. So we would provide them with the assessment, and they would complete it based on the trainee's performance. Additionally, some projects require external assessments. So say for instance the project is CVQ, the CVQ certification, you would need external assessors from the Ministry of Education who would have to come in and assess you. My project is 100% funded by the St.Lucian government, and it is very important that we achieve the mandates of the project, which is to get single mothers mobilized, to change the situation, to change poverty, to help people become self-sufficient, to give them the skills that they require to make a difference in their lives.
The Caribbean Vocational Qualification, or CVQ, is grounded on the competency-based approach to training, assessment, and certification. Candidates are expected to demonstrate competence in attaining occupational standards developed by practitioners, industry experts, and employers. Those standards, when approved by CARICOM, allow for portability across the region. Currently, CVQs are planned to reflect a qualification framework of 5 levels. Level 1, Supervised Semi-Skilled Entry-Level Worker. Level 2, Unsupervised Skilled Worker. Level 3, Diploma or Associate Degree Technical Supervisor. Level 4, Bachelor's Degree or Master Craftsman Technologist. Level 5, Postgraduate Degree, equivalent to Advanced Professional Senior Manager. Coming up, a single mother is in a chokehold, and later, from convict to chef. But how did he do it? Nadia Edwards is a single parent to 4 children, ranging from 12 to 16. She is the poster girl for vision, life skills training, and social transformation through opportunity.
I don't live too far from the NSDC in past years, and I've been seeing the post board every time I pass. I just decided to go and have a look in there and see what they provide, what they have for us. So I went, and then I was given a form to fill out, and I saw it written culinary arts. Honestly, when I first saw that name, culinary arts, I wasn't aware of what does that mean until I went and researched on my own. I was feeling embarrassed to ask them, what's culinary arts? So I went on my own and I researched it, and I saw the meaning of it. I said, that's exactly what I want to do.
The mandate of every government is the provision of job opportunities and training for its citizens.
Most children in St. Lucia are born to single mothers. Quite often, I remind people that I came out of a relationship where my father and mother were not married, and in those days, of course, they would describe us all as illegitimate. So I am one of those, and to some extent, I understand what children within that kind of family framework can go through.
The Single Mothers in Life Enhancement Skills was designed with mothers like Nadia in mind.
For the 2012-2013 financial year, government has allocated $1.2 million for the execution of the pilot phase of the Single Mothers Employment Program. SMILES targets single mothers aged 18 to 40 for vocational and life skills training.
17 mothers are receiving training in areas such as restaurant and bar operations, waitressing, menu planning, hosting, and customer service. Facilitator Lindell Brown says when their 6 months of training are over, the mothers will get the opportunity to put their newly acquired skills to work through job placement in the hospitality sector.
The program was set up targeting this group. We assist them with daycare. We also assist with lunch and bus fare as needed per participant. The true objective of this program is to get the working force more skilled, give the single mothers a skill which might guarantee them employment further on.
But it's not all pen, paper, crop production and pastry. Single mothers also learn mouth-to-mouth, kicks and punches.
1, 2, and if you're going to strike with this hand, strike it first here. So you're going 1, 2. No. What's here? Strike with your one, strike 1, 2, and strike. All right, there we go.
Something like self-defense. We look at it as like a prerequisite, like you need to know how to defend yourself. Say, for instance, you're walking home after work and somebody attacks you. You would need to defend yourself and know how to defend yourself, to have the confidence to know what to do in that instance. Additionally, first aid. First aid, we look at it as if you have a child, a young child, and say, for instance, the child swallows a small object and the child is almost suffocating and you don't know what to do. And that split second, if you knew what to do, you could save your own child's life. Oh, they were excited. They were so excited to be punching and kicking and knowing how to, can I kill him with that knock? So they were excited. And you could see it gave them a level of confidence. It gave them a boost. You know, I can defend myself. They were exposed to some of the situations that could happen. Say, for instance, if they're walking home in a dark alley, they were advised sometimes not to walk on your cell phone. And so you could see the joy that came about being exposed to that kind of training.
After a 6-month period, trainees move on to internship. Coconut Bay Resort and Spa, the largest employer in the south of the island, has been an NSDC partner from inception.
You hire for attitude and you train for skills. So from our standpoint, it's a combination. It's a combination of skills, attitude, attendance, and the interest that employee shows. And institutions like this actually give them that opportunity, some training, and they are in touch with the hotels and the other institutions so they can help to get them placed. And I think we really need that. We need that support for the young population because we have such high unemployment in that group.
I was overwhelmed knowing that I'm coming to a hotel on training, and I still learn a lot besides the training I had at school, being exposed to the environment and doing the actual things, having the ingredients and all the stuff to be working with it. It's like I really understood everything better than I wouldn't learn anything. Because I was sent here for training, and I wasn't on training. I was working. Now, get the difference between the training and the working. I was not taught anything here. I just see what people do, and I do it as well. There's nobody tell me, well, do this, do that, that's the way it is, or whatever. We were just working like all the others.
The Smiles provide training in early childhood development, cooking, hospitality training, plumbing, electrical installation, cellular technology, and greenhouse farming. They also offer paid full-time and evening classes. Today, their graduates are in all facets of the working world, polishing their way to independence and success.
Well, we had to do a 2-week PET workshop, which is Productivity Enhancement Program, where we covered a lot of interesting topics that would help us for a lifetime. It was kind of challenging because it's like we had 8 months to cover up both theory and practical, and we had to do an exam like every week. There were times I thought of like giving up, but I was saying to myself, no, I really want this. That course was pretty much in-depth because we covered up a lot of subjects where we were taught to either to go out there and work on our own or to work elsewhere. My greatest challenge was when we had to start working on clients. We had open day, and we had to work on people outside, like coming in. So it was a bit nervous because it wasn't like you were working with the students in your class anymore. We had to put ourselves out there and show what we were taught. We didn't have to pay. We were actually offered a stipend for transportation and lunch. It was given to us on a daily basis.
After 6 months of training, Chanel was ready to come face to face with the buying public.
Initially, I was a little apprehensive. Chanel changed my mind. After one of her tutors or facilitators spoke to me, I was a little unsure, and Chanel took it upon herself to come and visit me. And she actually came into the spa and spoke to me. As soon as I met her, I changed my mind. I could see that she had enthusiasm, that she was motivated, and to take the initiative to come and see me and speak to me and ask, give me a chance, that really made a difference to me. I could see I was looking at somebody who was going to be an asset to my business. The first 3 months, I asked Chanel to act as, to assist with administration, because I wanted to see how she was as a person, as well as how she would be in delivering treatments. And because her skill set was nails, I could gradually bring her into, working the same way as I do. So, we worked with that. I assessed her. She helped with reception duties. She helped with administration. And then really what I could see is there is something about Chanel, the way she carries herself, the way she is around the guests, around the clients, that really set her apart. Next step was as a trainer to help to increase Chanel's skills so that she could offer massage and facials. She now does a whole set of spa treatments, so she can do massages, facials, body wraps, scrubs. The training continues. We are still training. We're going to be doing reflexology and also some stone massage and various other things so that she is just increasing her skills all the time.
Hammer and nails, a chisel and plywood, tiles and thin set. How about mixing mortar, running 4 lengths of pipe, or repairing that leaky faucet? So the air conditioner broke and the refrigerator isn't cooling. Guess who is qualified to run your new electrical connection? These ladies are. Thanks to the NSDC, 112 women from the West Coast have completed technical and vocational training in the Construction for Women's project. 67 went on to job attachment and 31 gained permanent employment. From this initiative came the establishment of the West Coast Construction Group by the masonry trainees at the Ancillary Center. They are now engaged in a decorative concrete products business. Sustainability, self-sufficiency, and leading from the front sets this skills center apart. The Viewfort Center was built at a cost of $3.4 million and opened in December 2010. A spacious conference facility, skills training floor space, and a well-equipped restaurant provides employment and in-house internship.
So we had culinary arts classes before, and we have extended it into catering. And that has been assisting us with our initiatives. Also, the small farmer and Monrepo has also been assisting us because we believe in helping ourselves and not waiting for everybody to just give us a handout. And when donors give you money, they want to know that you are putting the things in place to self-sustain and to assist yourself.
The meals are served with produce planted, fertilized, and harvested by NSDC hands. Of course, the chef is a past student. The waiter and even some patrons are from the NSDC family. Coming up, the Youth Empowerment Program. Challenges, successes, and social transformation in action. When the adolescent product of a major crime hotspot is mixed with teenage arrest, marijuana trafficking, peer pressure, and encouraging drug lords, the coefficient to this equation are these two statistics.
I never had any aim in life. For me, life was just living on the streets, selling drugs, getting what I could get just to get by, and well, eventually I went to prison.
Couldn't handle certain pressure before, plus a death of a close family, plus the friends I used to follow too. So all that self-generated too, I end up being in prison.
I got arrested for possession of ammunition at 15. After that, I got arrested for drugs. Got arrested for possession of cannabis. I was sent to jail for possession of cannabis actually. I went to jail at the age of 22, came out at the age of 26. I was sentenced for 4 years.
I got stopped by the drug unit where they found cannabis in my possession. I did a 4-year sentence. I used to get a lot of love from the streets. Those who you will say the normal drug dealers in streets, I used to watch as my big brother. They used to tell me different things. They give me the kind of mind I have today. Now, that's how I end up straying from positive to negative, because when you're on streets and you're unemployed, you have to eat. Now, anyways possible for the young youths out there. Sometimes you're hungry, I know tomorrow you to wake up tomorrow and he's hungry, there's no way he'll stay hungry. If he have to come with the law, he will, but he have to eat.
There are over 646 men locked behind these walls. Some will die clutching prison bars, but the majority will be released back into society. With a criminal record and meager prospects of finding a job, the revolving heavy iron gate and rusty bars await recidivists. A novel consortium model designed by the Caribbean Youth Empowerment Project, the International Youth Foundation, with funding assistance from the United States Agency for International Development, and implementation by the National Skills Development Center in partnership with the Center for Adolescent Renewal and Education, along with Rise St.Lucia Inc. Together, they transported inmates from Bordelais Correctional Facility to the NSDC on a daily basis to provide them with life skills training designed to equip them for reintegration into society.
This program provides one of the best avenues to be tough on crime. It is a template that has proven to be very successful in the past. Of the 27 trainees who participated in a similar program 2.5 years ago, only 3 have returned to the Bordelais Correctional Facility as repeat offenders.
When the general public thinks of somebody in Bordelais coming out from Bordelais and you don't want to give them another chance because you're afraid, I want you to stop and think and say no. No.
When we do programs such as this that impact inmates at an institution of this kind, we are really partnering in a real way with the community, because we are saying to the community that we are giving support and preparation to individuals to reintegrate and to ensure that they can have meaningful contributions and a meaningful life.
The CYEP's vocational program in St. Lucia offered a second chance to young men and women in conflict with the law. Programming included an integrated comprehensive job training package where an array of providers collaborated closely to deliver technical skills, internship and job placement services, as well as psychological, medical, and other support services.
Never before had a program looked at training persons with those sort of backgrounds. But it didn't take place without its fair share of challenges. And so we started to have issues with, because while they were at NSDC, even some of the students, friends and family were coming to visit them at the NSDC. And then now that started to cause more problems later down the line. We had issues with drugs coming into the NSDC, but we nip it in the bud. We did it very quickly. And what we had to do, we had to also work with the police department in ensuring that they did regular spot checks And so students, were searched randomly at any time, so that kind of curbed the situation.
Through CYEP, employers gained access to workers possessing the specific skills their organizations needed, while experiencing reduced recruitment costs and deepening community connections. But to get corporate St. Lucia to hire ex-convicts would be a paradigm shift.
Mr. Reno Kajada was one of the leading employers who took many of our students after completion of the program. It was very difficult in the beginning because employer buy-in was a major challenge. And of course, you could imagine why.
I don't see it as a second chance. And I don't even see it as giving them a second chance, because I think it's giving them an opportunity to be back in the working environment, because they themselves, while our institution is supposed to be a rehabilitation center, it is not rehabilitating the people who enter the Bolide Correction Facility. So it gives them an opportunity to be rehabilitated on the outside, which is what I see that institution doing now.
When you're up there in prison, you have a kind of stigma mentality where when you go back out on streets, how you will be thinking, how you would get a work, how you would survive, if society want to see you. Because down here we have a kind of stigma on ex-criminals. So all those things used to play in my mind, and now after CYP came into my life now, I see, well, that's the opportunity now. I could prove, well, not everybody that come out from prison is bad, or not because they make a mistake in life. That means you're supposed to burn us and up, just discard us.
I have a guy who spent quite a long time in prison, and he's one of my better guys. But when he came to me, he told me that he was just out and he was ready to work, and he didn't want to get himself involved with the law anymore. And he's been there for about 3 or 4 years now, and he's an excellent guy. So I think we need to give everybody an equal opportunity until we see otherwise, and we make our decision on that, and not on a perception that we have of them.
The Caribbean Youth Empowerment Program imparts training in culinary arts, massage therapy, auto mechanics, electrical installation, commercial food preparation, crop production, and general maintenance. To date, 272 youth have enrolled. 41% of graduates have been employed. 5% have returned to school.
Was cooking my interest? No. Did I know anything about cooking before the program? No. I came into culinary arts, and all what I knew culinary arts had something to do with food, and that was it. And culinary arts was actually my field, It was the thing for me, and I don't regret it.
The CYE program is a very, very good program. It's very important. You'll have to take full opportunity of it to the fullness, because that's a stepping stone to change how society pictured, how society paints ex-cons.
We need to focus on those persons. We need to give them a second chance, an opportunity to make something of themselves again, to learn a skill, to be reintegrated back into society, so that they can feel, quote unquote, human once again, and be able to, fend for themselves and their families.
The number one mandate of any government is the welfare of its people, reduction of unemployment, and to create an enabling environment for investment geared towards economic prosperity. This political football has been dropped by many a government, as well documented by the rise in unemployment figures. Foresight, collaboration, and generous international donor agencies have been Helen's saving grace. Instead of backslapping and chest beating, policymakers have a task at hand and an obligation to today's youth and tomorrow's generation.
idle hands is the devil's workshop. And when you're idle, anything could happen. And a lot of times we believe that it would happen to us, but it happens to our families. The crime that's around us, it doesn't pinpoint on you alone. It affects the whole country. We need to get busy. When you are busy, you achieve. And when you achieve, everybody's successful.
NSDC is one of the best, because I know many people who have been to NSDC, and right now I know they have their own businesses. And me, myself, one day, I tell myself, and I know that one day I'll have my own business.
I would like to ask the government of St. Lucia to please continue with these training courses.
I would highly encourage that we don't give up that program, because I think we need it desperately.
We need to invest in them because our future lies in them. And when we develop them, we develop not only ourselves, but we develop our communities and we develop our countries. And that would change their lives and bring in investment for us.
Could go on and on, the fool has never been told. Could go on and on, the fool has never been told. Could go on and on, the fool has never been told. Could go on and on, the fool has never been told. Could go on and on, the fool has never been told. Could go on and on, the fool has never been told.